Before you watch any further, I just want to let you know that this video contains spoilers for Role Model, which was written by Rachel Reid, and Over the Line, which was written by Madison Diaz, which is me. I recently read Role Model, and as I was finishing the book, I started to see some parallels with the decisions I had made towards the end of Over the Line, and what exactly that says for how people's happily ever afters can differ depending on what exactly they personally need. One of the main characters for Role Model is Troy. He's a closeted character, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that he is extremely concerned about backlash for just simply being who he is. In Over the Line, we have Julia, who is a people pleaser, and she's just graduated college, and she has decided that the relationships in her life don't accurately reflect the type of person she thinks that she wants to be long term. Much of Troy's insecurity comes from his relationship with his father, who is extremely narcissistic and homophobic. So he worries that if he was to come out, his father would likely never speak to him again. And that's just something he doesn't want to deal with so far in his life. It's not something that would never be on the table because he obviously knows that this is something that will never change about him. But it is a huge hesitation that he has in his life to make this decision to be his true self because he worries about the backlash he'll receive from his father. Julia wants to set boundaries with multiple people in her life, but two significant players in that in the very beginning are her parents, who are also narcissistic. She has a mother and father who are just not loving and not giving towards her, and it's starting to really affect the way that she feels about herself and that she doesn't want to feel this way anymore. So it kind of drives her to make these decisions to live differently now because she's an adult and her life is hers and they haven't really ever done anything for her. So why does she feel this loyalty to be this specific person for them? At the end of Role Model, Troy decides to come out because he loves Harris and he wants to be his true self. And he wants to avoid talking to his father about it because it is scary to let down a parent in general, but especially a narcissistic parent. It can be incredibly scary and triggering because, newsflash, they're your parent and they have been treating you this way throughout your entire life. So whenever you're re-triggered by something, it's not just this time, right? It's every single time it's happened in the past. Him trying to avoid talking to his father about this actually creates an event where he's forced to come out to his father and deal with the consequence and the backlash of whatever that might be. Julia goes through something similar towards the end of the novel throughout her whole exploration that she's been going through since her parents have not been talking to her. She has a run-in with her parents and she has this opportunity to stand up for herself and to call them out for their behavior and say that she's not going to put up with it anymore. Most romance novels end with a happily ever after, right? And for many people, that can look like something different. For some people, if they were to repair their relationship with their parent, that would be a happily ever after, especially if it's something that can be forgivable. But for many people, standing up to their parents and telling them, I don't want you to be in my life anymore, or maybe not even just their parent, but like maybe a sibling or someone else that they've had to deal with long-term, maybe a long-term toxic friendship, if they're able to finally stand up to that person and say, no more, and if that person responds by saying, I don't respect your boundary, obviously they won't say it like that, but if they don't respect the boundary, now is the opportunity to say, then I'm not going to put up with it anymore. And for a lot of people, that's healing because that's going to be their personal experience and something they've had to deal with or something that they want the courage to do in the future. So I really appreciated that about Role Model, and it just had me thinking about how happily ever afters just look different for different people. If you're interested in Julia's story and how people react to the boundaries she sets with them in her life, because many different people can react in many different ways, you can find Over the Line wide. So I'm available in libraries. I'm available on Kobo Plus if you want to try that out. I'm also on Amazon, but I'm just not part of the KU program because I think it's important for authors to not give exclusivity rights to Amazon. So if you want to support me, you can request me at your local library, or you can try out Kobo Plus, or you can go to another major retailer and you'll find my book there.